Elma asks, I hear a lot about luxury businesses being timeless. Is being timeless dependent on the offering or how the offering is presented to the market?
Maybe neither of the two. Timeless is about what we've continued to talk, which actually is a good thing because it's at the core, which is the meaning your brand brings. That is timeless. You know, the dream to be a winner, or we mentioned Harley Davidson, you know, this desire to be somewhat edgy and outlaw and at the borderline, at least, you know, having a fantasy around that. That is timeless. The product might have to evolve from combustion engine to electric, or can be made bigger, as we just talked, and there can very well be a Harley Davidson hotel, etc. So the timelessness is not in the product, other than if you look at, if you have an icon. We talked about the 911 Porsche earlier, or you can talk about any, you know, the Birkin bag or whatever. Of course, if you have one like those, you better softly evolve that and don't abandon it.
I find this fascinating because it unlocks so much creativity. Eventually, it's never just about the clothes. It's about many more things, you know, and I always like to think, you know, meaningful garments for a meaningful life at the very least. And what we are discussing now only for me kind of like points to that.
Yes, I think like I mean, you could argue, what's the point of a heart if you don't have any way to express it with nice clothes? So, so you need like life,
a smooth operator.
Like Oscar Wilde. Oscar Wilde once said, you know, only shallow people don't judge by appearances. You know, even the mundane things are actually what define life much more than the big ones often. So I would never downplay that. And I think to your ultimate question about timelessness and importance, it's really that's why it is so essential that you find your myth and your mission, because those are by nature timeless. That's the whole idea of as JP said, it's a shared dream, a collective dream, actually, as Campbell said, and that runs across time and cultures, and that's the point of it. But your product is just a manifestation thereof. It's important as such, but it shouldn't be just about the product.
Yeah, and I can attest that Wolf can get very excited about the crust of a croissant, but you know, you need to differentiate, or you can differentiate. There are products, obviously, like heart surgery or your internet connection, for example, or maybe the train service you're going to take later on today to commute, or whatever it might be, where the product performance is going to be very central and right front and center. And often your interaction is going to be very utilitarian, even though it can quickly then slip into an experience that goes way beyond that and be meaningful as well. Think of airlines and, you know, how you feel about being a frequent flyer in their lounge and yada, yada, etc. But in many of the areas we're discussing, when you talk about fashion, when you talk about beauty, cosmetics, etc., when you talk about luxury, nobody needs a watch, right? They all have a watch in form of their smartphone in their pocket. So nobody needs that complicated wrist watch that breaks down all the time, is very expensive to maintain. All these products are about, we talked, identity, social belonging, status, etc., etc. And that is where, of course, that dream and what it projects and the values that you can buy into, etc., are way more important, or add very significant value, disproportionate value.